And I really think to be a productive, successful adult, you have to be that lifelong learner.
Yeah.
You have to continue to be growing in some aspect.
Welcome to Fireside Talks, where we help bring you from survival to stability.
Through skills, support, and the hope of Jesus Christ.
Hi, and welcome to our month on Adulting 101.
And a lot like I said last week, I do not enjoy that term. At all.
Okay. Well, that's what we got.
I know.
You should have come up with a different term.
Yeah. It is what it is, right? So we did talk about adulting, or I talked about adulting last week, and kind of went off on a different direction than I anticipated. But there is a lot that goes into being an adult. Really, there is, if you think about it. Because think about the responsibilities you had in high school. Or maybe think of the responsibilities of our 13-year-old compared to the responsibilities we carry.
Sure.
I certainly played less video games than him today.
Well, there weren't as many.
Well, it's not like I was at the first Thanksgiving. Like, I'm not that old.
I know, but there weren't as many video games.
They weren't as good. So.
Or as many.
Or as good. There was a lot of Nintendo games. And we even had an Atari.
There's nowhere near the amount of video games there is today.
All right, wrong topic. Let's get back to adulting instead of talking about video games. So, on a scale of I have my life together to there's laundry everywhere, how do you feel like you've been this week?
This week I think I have my life together. I think I've done pretty good.
There's a laundry basket on our bed right now.
I put away the other 3. There's not laundry everywhere.
But
usually they're piled up in piles on top of the bed, and then you move them back to the laundry basket so we can go to bed.
Right.
And then it takes 3 days to put them away.
Right.
So, I mean, I feel like that's pretty good.
So you feel like you've got your life together this week?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you had to...
What about you?
I mean,
you do laundry. You don't do laundry, so that doesn't count.
Oh, well...
There's tools everywhere in the garage.
Boy,
How about that? Rate it that way.
Yeah, but I know where they all are. So there's part of that. I would say overall, I mean, made it to work, hit all my objectives at work this week, did a few things around here that I wanted to get done. So, I mean, I feel like overall, there might be some socks on the floor, but I'm doing okay.
Okay.
So, so thinking of adulting, and we think back to when we were younger, we think back to when we were teenagers. At what age would you have considered someone to be old?
As a teenager?
Yep, looking back, junior high, high school, and you look at somebody and you're like, man, they're old.
I mean, probably 50, 60.
Really? You would have gone that old?
Yeah, because I was middle school when my dad turned 40. So, I mean, so were you. So I wouldn't have gone 40. I remember thinking he was old when he was 40, but in high school, like, I didn't think he was that old.
Sure. Man, I would have considered somebody, looking back to high school, about 35.
I mean, I would thought you were saying, like, old.
No, not like grandma, but like, they're old.
Like an older person. Yeah, probably 30 or 40.
Yeah. Which we're both past.
Right.
Now.
I mean, Not. I'm just barely.
Well, me too. Um.
I just turned 40.
Okay.
Okay.
But we're both
You
past
just
35.
turned 43.
So, anyways, can you think of anything that made you feel old this week?
Yeah.
Examples?
My knee's hurting.
Okay.
My oldest son talking about getting his license and next year having 2 kids in high school.
Sure. Sure. Mine was actually this morning
Oh, yeah?
in that meeting at work.
Mm-hmm.
And, we did kind of the go around the room and introduce yourself and how long have you worked here and stuff.
Yeah.
And most of them, not all of them, but most of them were talking about college experiences
Oh.
and where they feel that they received some of their leadership skills. And a lot of it was, I played football in college or whatever in college.
Okay.
But it wasn't very long ago for them. And then when it got to me and I said, really for the last 20 years, my job has been some kind of leadership thing.
Yeah.
And then that's when I realized that I have more years of leadership than some of them have been alive.
Yeah, I guess it made me feel really old when we were talking about 9/11 the other day.
Sure.
Or no, we were talking about the COVID shutdowns.
Yeah,
Even sooner.
Yeah.
Like, our youngest kid will not even know
Nope.
what we went through.
Nope. They'll have no idea what we're talking about.
So it's just crazy.
Well.
And even that, like, our youngest girls, like, they don't even comprehend because they were so young.
Right.
And they're 10.
Yeah.
9 and 10. So it's just...
Well, and of course, none of them will.
that long ago.
Everything they know about 9/11 will be from history books.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes me feel old.
So, we talk about getting older, about being an adult.
So now that you got us feeling geriatric.
Right. Right. So, do you feel like there's a lie that you were being told, that an adult told you that you believed growing up?
That's going to take a minute. I feel like my parents, they did not talk about finances with us.
Mm-hmm.
But they also didn't shield us from, that costs money. I'm not buying that for you.
Sure.
If you want it, you need to save up money. Like, money doesn't grow on trees. Like, and they sat down and paid bills. Oh, no, don't bother Dad. He's paying bills. Like, I feel like some of those hardship things that are difficult to grasp in adulthood or to know that you have to do, I don't think that they shielded us from them. And then when I moved out, my dad sat down to make a budget with me to make sure that I could afford and realize all the things that were going to cost me money. My gas, my insurance, my house payment, but not only that, but paying for trash, paying for groceries, paying for electricity, paying for internet, paying for your phone, like those things that you don't realize you also have to pay for.
Right.
Like, it's not just rent. It's
right.
all the things to maintain that, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I feel like my parents did a good job showing me that.
Nobody prepared me for how expensive toilet paper is.
Sure.
Because it's just one of those things. Growing up, it's just there. You don't even think about it.
Yeah.
And I struggle. I mean, not that I went grocery shopping a ton with my mom when I was older. I'm sure I did when I was little. But, like, it's not something I remember her buying. I don't remember it ever being purchased. I mean, obviously not that toilet paper is an exciting purchase, and you would remember it, but I just don't remember it ever being in the cart.
Yeah. I think I was lied to about motherhood.
Okay.
As far as adulting. Like, as a child, I went with my parents to, and siblings. We went to the baby showers. We had fun with the baby. We dressed the baby, and I held the baby. Like, I babysat. Like, I even knew that babies were crabby, but I didn't realize how draining motherhood could be. Like, just praying over your kids and making sure their hearts are in the right place, trying to help them make the right decisions, but letting them learn from their mistakes, and just like the getting them ready to live, but still wanting to help them. It's just, it can be overwhelming. And I feel like that was shielded from me.
Okay. And I think too that a financial thing was shielded from me quite a bit. Like, I remember my dad saying no to certain things, or my mom saying no to certain things. But like it was always the big stuff I remember, never the little stuff. Never that 20, 30, even $40 thing at the store. It was a car, vacation. Like, I remember those, but I don't remember a lot of the little stuff. So if we're thinking still about adulthood and thinking back on some of the things that we've learned, what would you say is a financial thing that you did that now you're like, oh, I can't believe I did that. But when you were younger, you were so excited about it.
I saved up for weeks for this shirt. There was a really nice shirt that I wanted. I'm like, I'm saving for that shirt. I don't even know what shirt it was now.
Right.
It was a really expensive shirt.
Okay.
I mean, expensive to a teenager. Like, I think it was like $50 or $60 for this one shirt. Not even a sweatshirt, like, I guess. I don't know.
I remember my first job, which of course I was making a minimum wage, so it was $5.25 an hour then. And I bet it took me 2 weeks, maybe 3, saving up to buy a pair of Doc Martens.
Oh.
Because they were like $130.
Mm-hmm.
And we won't even talk about trucks.
Right.
So I think this is an interesting question when we think about our employment.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever stayed in a job longer than you should have because you were scared of moving on?
Scared of moving on? No. Mm-mm. I mean, I can't say always. Most of the time I tried to make sure I had a different job before I left a job.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was once that I was jobless, but when I knew the job was over, I started looking. Like, I wasn't afraid of that.
Okay. Mine's the ambulance.
Yeah.
And it's not, I don't think it's that I was scared of leaving the ambulance as much as it was that I convinced myself that there wasn't anything else I could do.
Mm. Yeah, but you were good at it.
Sure.
And people looked up to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's hard to leave.
But how many years too long did I stay?
Right.
Because I think I was on the ambulance almost 20, 18 years? Something like that. 16 years? I don't know. A long time. But I just convinced myself that there wasn't anything else I'd be good at.
Sure.
So back to weird jobs though, or job stuff. Thinking about financial stability, you said that you'd never left a job without having another one lined up.
Right.
And I'm in the same boat. I never left anything without having something to move on to. But have you, would you say it's more important to be financially stable or happy?
Happy. I would definitely say happy. Some financial stability falls into that, because if you like what you're doing but you can't put food on the table, like you might enjoy and have fun with your job, but you're not happy because you can't even feed yourself or put a roof over your head or whatever that might be. So there needs to be some financial stability.
Sure.
In that. But if you enjoy what you're doing, and if you are doing what God called you to do, living paycheck to paycheck is what it is.
Sure. So I left financial security to go back to a job that I was more happy in.
Yeah.
Because when I was working in that factory, we had way more money.
Oh, yeah.
Than I ever did on the ambulance. And I will, to this day, say it wasn't a bad job. It's just not a good job for me.
Right. Yeah.
Where the ambulance was a much better fit for my personality and my desires. But we lost a lot of money leaving that job to go back to the ambulance.
Right. And I feel like if you're doing what God has called you to do and it's making you live paycheck to paycheck, you're trusting in His provisions as well.
So I think there's, when you're saying living paycheck to paycheck, I guess in my head there's two different ways to look at that, or two different ways to think about it. One is I get, let's just say that I get paid on the 1st and the 15th. I get paid on the 1st and the money's pretty much gone by the 15th. To me, that's paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are living, I get paid on the 1st and the money's gone on the 9th. And I have to use credit cards and things to get by to the 15th. And I think those are two very different things when people think about living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
So that job that I get paid on the 1st and I'm running out of money on the 14th, I think that's trusting in God's provision.
Yes.
But that job where you're running out of money on the 9th.
Yeah, you shouldn't be going into debt.
Right. I think that's a whole nother thing, and I don't think you're where you're supposed to be. And I guess I should back up on that. You might be exactly where you're supposed to be, but you're either A, living outside of your means, or B, you need to think about a part-time job to cover those other expenses. And I get it, nobody wants to work two jobs. But looking back, really, since we've moved to South Dakota in 2018, that's the first time I didn't have two jobs.
Yes. I do have to say that your schedule was different, so it allowed for that.
Right. It made it easy because of my work schedule.
Yeah.
It wasn't overly burdensome.
Yeah.
But moving to South Dakota, this is still the first time in my adult life that I've not had 2 jobs.
Yeah.
But I'll also say that, like, I enjoyed teaching at the college. So, like, that wasn't a
It also
burdensome.
didn't make it hard. It's not like you were going and flipping burgers.
Right. Right. I was doing something I enjoyed.
Yeah.
So it made it easy to do. But, all right. Rich and miserable or comfortable and fulfilled? Which one do you pick?
I mean, I feel like that's kind of what we already said. Comfortable and fulfilled.
Sure.
I mean, I'm okay living. Like, I think you should be living paycheck to paycheck if that's what God has called you to do, as long as you are serving where He wants you to be.
Right. Right. Don't get me wrong, being rich sounds fun. Being able to go do whatever you want, buy whatever you want, it sounds like a good time. But I would much rather have something that's fulfilling in my life than be able to fill it with stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So one thing we haven't talked a lot about is when it comes to the idea of adulting, also what it means to be maturing in your spiritual life.
Yes.
And I think that's a part we miss in our society quite often, that we need to continue to be maturing in our spiritual walk too. And I guess we were talking about in this meeting at work this morning, we were talking about the idea of maturing or maturity. Well, I think we were talking about growing. And the thing that comes to my mind more often than not is that God is a living God and the God of living things. So, of course, you can't see it on camera, but now it's gone. But we used to have a very sad aloe plant in the corner.
Yeah.
So if we're looking at plants, you're looking at even if you're like in a farming situation, livestock, any of these things. But if we look at anything pretty much in nature, if it's not dying or growing, it's dying.
Yeah. I think you said that in your last book.
I might have. I don't remember. So if you're not growing, you're dying. But why are we really the only species that's comfortable with complacency? We're comfortable where we're at. I don't need to do anything else. I'm comfortable where I am. And I think that's a difficult thing. So we're about the only species that's complacent or comfortable with complacency.
Okay.
Okay. Even if we take other examples of some other animals out there, the idea of like our dogs, they're fed, they're warm, they have a soft place to lay down, they seem to be pretty happy, right? But even at that, they're continuing to grow. Even our dogs are continuing to learn. Even our little old grumpy dog, she's not that grumpy, but she's continued to learn to pick up on cues on how we're acting, or they continue to learn.
Okay.
And even a cow, if it has grass and water, it's pretty happy, but it's going to continue to look for greener grass.
Okay.
Right? But humans, we can just be okay right where we're at because we're comfortable. So it's one of those questions to me, like, why are we the only species or the only animal that is comfortable with complacency? And I really think that's a lie from the enemy, saying, you're fine, you don't need anything else, it doesn't get better than this.
Yeah.
When it does.
Yeah.
No other thoughts on that?
I do have other thoughts on that because it kind of feeds off of our mental health
Sure.
just a couple episodes ago, and a podcast that I was listening to today. Not about our spiritual walk is that the world is telling us that we're here to serve ourselves, and our neighbors and our children and our spouses are all here to serve us as well. Whereas God put us here to serve them.
Sure.
And the world is telling us to serve ourselves. That things are okay with where they're at because everybody else is here to make us happy.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to stop listening to the world.
Yeah. And I think that's part of your spiritual walk is recognizing, if you think of course I can't remember the chapter and verse now, but Paul talks where he's like, I've learned to live in plenty. I've learned to, be content. I've learned to not have anything.
Yes.
And I've found joy in all of those.
Right. And sorry.
No, go ahead.
That's an important difference to make. To be content and to be complacent are very different things.
Right.
You can be content and find joy in the things where you're at, but to be complacent and never want to make them better is a different.
Because I think in complacency, that's where we stop growing. I've learned what I need to learn. I'm fine where I'm at, and I'm not going any further.
Yeah.
And I really think to be a productive, successful adult, you have to be that lifelong learner.
Yeah.
You have to continue to be growing in some aspect.
Yeah.
And it's not like big crazy growth like I'm going to go get another college degree or it doesn't have to be that, but if you can learn or grow just a little bit every day, then I think that's part of being a successful adult or a responsible adult.
Sure. I'm always researching something.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to be it doesn't need to be a class,
Right.
There's so much information out there.
Right.
And the Bible's a good source for that too, because it's a living, breathing document that you read something today and it's going to speak to you in your situation now is completely different than if you read it 5 years ago. Like we're reading James right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is speaking to me so different than we read it.
We did a study on James 4 years ago.
Yeah. Longer than that.
Okay.
It's been longer than that.
Well, still quite a while ago.
Yeah, just because of where we're at with planting the mission and trusting and asking for God things. And gosh, we're not even through chapter 1 yet.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, God, I need to trust. I need to abide in your will. So, it's just speaking to me different. Like, so the Bible is a good place to continue to grow in that faith. And all you need is the Bible.
Right. You don't have to spend a bunch of money on crazy commentaries and all these other resources.
Yeah, and you don't need an expert to talk to. Like, right. God is your expert. Talk to him. Pray. Like, he will reveal to you what he wants you to see. And there's tons of sermons you can watch online if it helps you to understand or grasp things better that's being said in the Bible, but you don't need that.
I would almost promise that if you type a chapter and verse or a book chapter and verse into YouTube, you will find a sermon about those scriptures.
Oh, sure.
I would say almost all of them. And I've done that before, like reading James. I typed in James chapter 1 today and found, And it's not necessarily a sermon, it's just an overview. And it's one of those things that's nice to be refreshed. Like it's more of a
Historical context.
yeah, historical context. Kind of giving some layout of the book. Not necessarily verse by verse, but like here's who we know the intended audience was. This is what we know about the author. This is why he's writing it.
Yeah, what was going on at that time.
Yeah,
And
these are the issues he's addressing.
Yeah.
Which really makes the book, it speaks into you differently once you know those things.
Yeah. And we say those things because they're out there for free.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go spend a bunch of money or find an expert in something to learn from the Bible.
Right. There's tons of great free options out there when it comes to Bible study that you don't have to pay for.
And adulting, to bring it full circle.
Right.
This is part of adulting, to grow in your spiritual walk and wanting to know Christ better, because as you grow in your spiritual walk, you're going to know where God is calling you in your job and in your position, in your relationships, and then God can speak into those things as well. So it's all full circle, that if you're growing spiritually, he's going to grow you into your spiritual gifts.
Right.
Yeah.
So one other thing I would touch on with adulting, and I think it's important when you're thinking about becoming a successful or a growing or whatever, is one thing to recognize. There's a lot of things that we just don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
And there needs to be a lot of humility in your life.
Oh, yeah.
And it's in Proverbs where it says, a wise man seeks the counsel of many. So there's no shame in telling someone, I don't know.
Right.
I've never done this. I've never experienced this. I don't know what to do right now.
Yeah. And on the other side of the coin, if someone is telling you something like, oh, really? I didn't know that. Don't trust them at face value. Like, go and do your own research and make sure that it lines up and it's true.
Yeah.
Like, especially with so much information on the internet, like, just, like, fact check.
And it doesn't have to be crazy deep dive research. It's just a quick, okay, nope, sounds like they were right.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that goes for your pastors too, because pastors make mistakes, and they probably would like to hear that friendly debate from you. Not all of them, but you would have.
Yep.
If someone disagreed with you,
I want to know why.
You would have that debate as to why.
Right.
I mean,
and sometimes, depending on especially the scripture, like, you're right, it does say this or it does mean this, but this is the application I was trying to get across. And maybe it's just making the understanding of what the pastor was trying to tell you.
Right. Yeah.
And I think a wise pastor or a humble pastor would recognize that, okay, they're right. Maybe I didn't word this well.
Sure.
You know, I'm not saying that a pastor's going to look at you and be like, you're right, I'm a heretic. Right? But maybe I didn't word it well. Maybe I didn't develop that thought enough before I presented it.
Yeah. But my point is that, like, even your pastor, don't take everything at face value. Be willing to go back to the scriptures and see what God is telling you through that, and make sure that it actually lines up with the scripture if your pastor is using scriptures.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
And that reminds me too of, I believe it's Acts chapter 17, where it's talking about the Bereans, that when Paul spoke, they went and studied the scriptures to see what he was saying was true, before they just blindly followed what Paul was saying. Because he was bringing up in his sermons, he's bringing up all kinds of prophecy and stuff and explaining, no, you don't understand, Jesus fulfilled these things. And they're going, well, let me double check that you're not just making up a prophecy from the Old Testament that I don't remember.
Which is also why in our podcast, when we talk about stuff like that, because he doesn't remember where it's at, I tried to put the scriptures in there so you can go look for yourself.
Sure. So, all right, so we're going to continue adulting.
Do you have the other adulting topics? Apparently, this was a little bit about job satisfaction.
It's kind of job, money, that kind of stuff. We'll probably have to talk about healthy adult relationships, even though we've already had a podcast on relationships. We'll probably have to talk a little bit more about just kind of our place in society as adults, because we should be the, how do I want to say it, the wiser of our society. Adults should be wiser than children.
Yeah.
And we'll probably have to talk a little bit about what it actually means to have wisdom, stuff like that, as we move forward.
He's going to be gone for a week, so hopefully I can get him to record 2 before he leaves. Otherwise, I'll be doing one by myself.
I do one once a month by myself. It's okay, it won't hurt.
Or maybe I'll find someone else to join me.
All right. But otherwise, I don't think we really have much else to go over today. Of course, other than the normal stuff, like the links down below and all of that kind of stuff.
You go around and please like and subscribe. Go see the website. Our podcasts are listed there. If you want to look at past episodes, you can also give there. And our merch is listed there.
Yeah.
Check.
That stuff. I think we checked all the boxes for a successful adult podcast today.
Great.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye.